In today's episode of Holding Democracy Hostage, MAGA Republicans in Georgia just crafted an election law so egregious their own Republican governor is looking into ways to stop it. Their plan is simple: give local election officials more ways to refuse to certify the vote. Now, the entire process from when we vote in November to when an election is actually certified is kind of complicated, so let me explain. Okay, so on or before Election Day, you and I go vote at our local polling spot, or we vote by mail. From there, every locality has an election deadline, at which point it's no longer going to accept any more ballots, and it's mandatory to certify the results. Those results then go to a higher authority, before moving to a final certification on the federal level in Washington, D.C. Simple enough? Alright. Now, if local election officials believe they have evidence of voter fraud or misconduct, they can report it appropriately, but they still need to certify the results, while any subsequent challenges play out in court. But not so in Georgia anymore if Trump and MAGA get their way. See this guy? This is Brad Raffensberger. He was Georgia's Secretary of State and chair of Georgia's election board during the 2020 election. Even though he's a Republican, he affirmed Biden's victory there despite enormous pressure from Donald Trump personally. Now, fast forward to this year, MAGA Republicans in the Georgia state legislature passed a bill ousting Raffensberger from the state election board, and now that board has been filled with 3 Trump loyalists. Trump even shouted them out by name at a recent rally.
3 members: Janice Johnson, Rick Jeffries, and Janelle King. 3 people are all pit bulls fighting for honesty, transparency, and victory.
Having now won control of the state's election board, these officials are passing new rules that would make it much easier to challenge the results this time around. The new rule basically asserts that it's no longer mandatory for local county election boards to certify the election's results if they have concerns about voter fraud or other irregularities, no matter how those concerns are. There's 159 counties in Georgia, and a huge majority of them are deep red. All it takes is for a couple local officials to refuse to certify the results, and it would throw the entire state's voting count into prolonged chaos. Meanwhile, in the scenario where this all goes down, Raffensberger only has until December 11th to certify the state's overall result. So, if these local MAGA heads play dirty for long enough, it could lead to an unprecedented post-election crisis in one of the most crucial swing states for the whole election, all to serve a corrupt, criminally convicted ex-president who has already tried to violently overthrow one election as it is.